We want to start off with a reminder that we are not doctors. Before you make any changes or try something new, always consult with your doctor and medical team first. Chronic illness can vary from patient to patient, so it's always best to consult with your own doctor for what is best for you.
Hello and welcome to I Be Determined. I'm your host, Mason Harvey, and I speak from the role of a patient, and I have Crohn's disease.
And I'm your other host, Michelle Harvey. I am Mason's mom, and I speak in the role of a caregiver. And today's podcast is inspired by those of you out there who might need a little extra help. And this kind of came about we always want to do something supportive for you guys, especially for caregivers. You guys need it too. It's not just the patients. It's those of you caring for them.
Because it's hard on everybody, right? It affects everybody. You're all going to the hospital together. You're the ones all dealing with it and stuff.
Right.
So it's hard for all of you.
Right. And so I had my doctor's appointment a couple weeks ago, and it was after our last podcast, actually. And I was I get nervous anyways, but I have a lot going on, and had a lot going on that week. We had 5 appointments that week, medical appointments. And so I was the first one to start it off on Monday.
She had to go to her doctor's appointment.
Yeah. So my blood pressure was very high, like not good at all. And it was so high that they had me sit there and try and calm down, and then they wanted to retake it. They retook it, and it did come back down, thankfully.
Good.
Still higher though
than,
and I could tell, I was like, I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. Like, I get nervous, but this was just like,
everybody gets nervous when they're going to the hospital, and they know it's, well, not the hospital, the doctors, and it's for them,
And it's like, and I think as a caregiver, there's a lot of pressure on us to be healthy, because we want to make sure we're okay to take care of for kids or whoever you're taking care of. And so I have this whole new level of not just a whole new level of thought where that goes. And so sometimes at my appointments that will get the better of me. And so I was trying to calm down. I was trying to do one of the techniques Mason had learned from his therapist. And so it just kind of got me thinking, wouldn't that be kind of cool to share with others? Because I'm sure, some of you are listening to this. Maybe you're on your way to an appointment. Maybe you've had a stressful morning. And
don't do it while driving, though.
No. These are things you can do to quickly just kind of relieve anxiety and relax. And some of you may already know some of these. And if you do, cool. If not, you're going to learn something new today. And one of the things, I just want to say this one last thing about my doctor's appointment, because I really don't want to talk about it that much. It was rather forget it.
No.
But one of the things my doctor told me, because I said, and I think this is very true for caregivers, I was like, well, I feel bad having stress or thinking I have problems, because the people I'm around are, even people like Mason or you guys out there with something. You guys have so many more. So I feel guilty. Like, I feel like I just need to bury my stuff, because it's like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. And like, she looked at me and she said very, very kindly. And she said, it doesn't matter how big other people's problems may seem. It doesn't make your problems any less small.
That's very good.
And good. And I was
She's
like,
a doctor. Why isn't she a therapist?
I know. I did tell her, I said, bill me for therapy as well. Throw that in there.
Just take that.
But I felt like that was, I shared this on social media too. So if you follow us, you'll probably see that I shared that. But that was something that was so important to me, because I think a lot of us, and probably even you included, sometimes you feel like, well, other people's problems are so big, I shouldn't be stressed out about this. But it's still a problem.
Because the thing is, everybody has problems, and it doesn't matter how much bigger my problem is, how much bigger your problem is to me.
You can feel stress.
It's okay to stress. You don't need to bottle the emotions, because that's just going to
make it worse. Right.
And so it's better to just express, Your
blood pressure will tell you.
Yes, it will.
Right. It'll rat you out. And so that's just, I think that's important for you as patients to remember, for caregivers, that you're probably always trying to maybe minimize your issues or layer on another layer of guilt. Like, oh,
Mhm.
now I feel guilty because I'm sitting here wallowing in my issues when they're not as big as that person's over theirs. And
And I
it's
mean,
like, it doesn't matter.
it might even be like to where some people are like, oh my God, I have to take one biologic every 6 weeks. This is so bad. But Mason has to take biologics every 2 weeks and he has to take two, and
Right.
but then I'm sitting here going, there's some people who have to take steroids for the rest of their life and
Right.
they can't find a treatment. And so you're always thinking, oh, someone else has a bigger problem than me. Oh,
Right.
this is
But that
awful.
person who has theirs every 6 weeks, it's still a
It
problem
is
for
still a
them.
problem,
And it doesn't matter that Mason's may seem worse or Mason look
Mhm.
at somebody else, theirs may seem worse. It's like everybody can look. You can always look and see somebody who's having a worse day. You can always look and see someone who's having a better day.
It's like the grass is always
So,
greener on the other side.
yeah,
No matter how bad your situation is, you're probably going to see someone else and think
right.
it
And
might
you
be
feel
worse,
like, well,
be like, I
yeah.
can't feel bad.
Right, but you can.
Yeah,
And
you can.
my doctor was, I mean, I sat there and was just like, "Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
good
that's
to know.
super obvious. Why didn't I just think of that? Like
Mhm.
why it is okay to have a small problem. Even as something as simple as, you were baking cookies and it didn't go right. And it's like that's like nothing compared to a health issue, but it could still be a
It's
stress
so
for
annoying.
somebody. So,
All the ingredients
yeah,
and you just waste it all the time, and it's just like I
everybody
thought I did it
has
right.
there's everybody has something. And
Yes,
so
has
so
problems.
therapy is great, guys. Also just realizing, giving yourself that grace and that patience with yourself and saying, hey, it's okay. Like, I don't have to feel bad about feeling this way, and it's okay for me to take a break and say, you know what, I got to take a time out today. I got to do something
Everybody
for
needs breaks,
myself,
right? For their health.
Right. So caregivers, I think you really need to hear that. Patients, I also think you need to hear that.
Yes.
And with that, I want to, because I keep seeing it as I'm talking, there is right up here a football. So,
Mhm.
um,
It's right up here. If you're on video, if you're
mhm,
on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. But if you're just listening to the podcast, you're very confused right now.
right. And our house is also not for sale. I'm realizing we have a for sale sign. So that's not
Oh
why we're
no.
stressed.
Nope,
We are actually
that's
this room that we film in our podcast room, we've been moving some stuff around, and that is where it's sat because I had another spot and I kept running into it. It kept falling. I just removed it from a home that sold. So
we're
it's
not going anywhere,
so
guys.
no, so we're not going anywhere. That I'm like, what the heck? I just realized we have a sign behind us.
Someone's gonna be in the comments gonna be like, "How
Yeah.
much can I get for?"
Yeah. So no, it's not for sale.
So,
But the football was given to Mason. We told you guys last time we talked to you, we're going to the Legacy
I can
event.
see it. Yeah.
And Mason got a surprise called up on a stage
Yes.
by Rolf Panerka.
Because I wasn't supposed to do any speaking that
No, it
night.
was just supposed to be a chill
Yeah,
night.
it's supposed to be a
Mhm.
chill night, yeah. And then Rolf walks up to our table, Rolf Benershka, and he goes, "So, we're gonna need you to come up in like 30 minutes or after the dinner, I
Right.
need you to come up to the
He's
stage
like,
because
when
we're
I
gonna
start
talk about
talking
this."
about this, and this,
And I
you'll
was like,
stand up on the side. Patty, his assistant, had that sounds so like she's so much more than that, but Patty is one amazing.
she's great. She's the best
Yeah.
assistant anyone could ask for,
Yeah,
right?
so much more than that. But Patty had earlier had told me, hey, Mason, if he gets called up on the stage, there might be a little surprise. Tell him 30 seconds is all he needs to do. Just say thank you. It doesn't have to be, anything.
Yeah,
And I was
nothing
like,
crazy, right?
okay.
Okay.
So Mason took about 30 seconds after he got the football, and it's really cool. It's hand painted.
It's a very cool football. It's
Yeah.
by the NFL, right?
Yeah. What's an
It's
NFL
official.
grade?
Yeah,
So
it's official now.
whatever the word. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if
Yeah.
NFL grade. I
But
guess.
they had it painted and they had a saying put on it. The picture is on our Instagram and Facebook if you follow us.
You can probably
Super
put a
cool.
picture of it on the screen right now. So if you're
Yeah.
not watching, you'll see.
And it's also autographed.
Yes,
So
autographed by
Rolf
Rolf.
signed it that night. He put a little inscription on it and signed it. And so we have it in a case now behind us, and super cool to finally have that. It's about time we had a football from Rolf.
Yes, definitely.
I
Got
mean,
a Rolf football.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was pretty exciting. So Mason was honored with that. So that was cool. So Legacy went really well. We have one more. We have the gala coming up here in a few weeks where
I
we're
don't know why that could be stressful.
well, here's why. You want to know
Yeah,
why?
I do know why, but I'm just
Make
starting it for the audience,
We
right?
have to make 100 cookies, and they are like five variations because they're for the VIPs that are attending the event. And so we're doing those. We are donating a set of candles that we have to create
Yes.
and make up. We are donating 20 of our journals that you guys, so people attending are going to get these. These are on Amazon. There are food and restroom journals that we made. So those everything had to get ordered. Those are taking it.
Because they're getting ready.
We had made 120 candles for the event last weekend that we went to. In addition to making our own just seasonal candles and trying to do that in work and school. And in all this that we're doing for the other gala, it's also my birthday the week before. So I'm like, I'm not making any, yeah, no plans to celebrate because I'm probably just gonna want to take a nap. I'm assuming.
And then you're also speaking.
And yeah, and so that's the other, I'm also giving a speech. And so for me, it's just like it's a lot coming up. But
quite a bit. Actually, it is quite a bit. And you have every right to be stressed about that.
Just normal, but just it's
normal
stuff over here, I feel like.
Normal stuff, making 100 cookies, making a whole batch of candles, speaking, day your birthday, right? It's very normal, guys.
And
You've
it's
also
like,
done this.
And it's like you want to fit in there somewhere. Like this is where I think it's really important for anybody listening because caregivers, you guys are trying to do extra stuff like this, your volunteer work, your help work. You're trying to work and make money to financially support.
Like me.
Yes. And then just trying to be a parent, have fun times. And then somewhere in there, it's like, I'm supposed to have me time.
Yes.
Like, okay.
When am I supposed to rest?
And
help
so
myself?
that's where today is going to be helpful for some of you listening, just to have quick anxiety techniques to help you guys. And this might even help some of you. These are actually really important for patients. Actually, if not more, I was going to say for like maybe
for
if you're on your way to an appointment, these can be done in the room.
While you're getting it. Giving you something to focus on. And it's actually very effective because I just tried it before the podcast and I fell asleep. Right. I'm joking.
No. But he did try for the podcast.
Actually was relaxing.
And so the first one we're going to talk about, which is pretty popular, this was the first one that Mason's therapist had him do. And it's called box breathing. Yes. And so some of you may have heard this. I looked it up. It looks to be true that the Navy SEALs were the ones that kind of created this technique. And so I figured if it's good enough for the Navy SEALs.
If the Navy SEALs are doing this, then you can too. And it's going to work well.
So I don't know if a therapist created it for the Navy SEALs, but it's something the Navy SEAls do.
Yeah, if they do it, it's probably a good way to do it.
And so we're going to kind of describe it to you guys. And we're going to be creating a Karmatude clip, and it's going to be for box breathing. And so it'll be specifically shaped like a box, and it's going to have the lines out you can trace, and you can have it with you with the video instructing you how to do this. So we're going to be making one of these as well, which you guys know we donate them for free. So if anybody wants one, you just let us know. But it might be a good reminder or something to take with you to an infusion, to an appointment. Box breathing is basically you visualize a box.
Yeah, so there's a box.
And I'll have Mason trace this. And so what you do is you start by breathing in. So you breathe in for 4 seconds. So you do
bottom side. So basically on the top of it, you breathe in
for 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you hold
for
1, 2, 3, 4. Then you breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold again 1, 2, 3, 4.
So basically you breathe for 4. You breathe in for 4 seconds.
Right. So it's like breathe in, hold, for 4 breathe out. Hold. There's the box.
And each of those increments are for 4 seconds. So it's not, because I originally thought that it was, you do breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and that's not obviously going to help stop stress. But with the holding, it's actually a very important part of it because it's giving you a chance to relax and hold it in.
Like reset.
To give you something else to think about too.
So you're slowly, and you just kind of,
you could take longer if you want, but
right. You can do as many of these. It's not like one time around the box and you're like, oh, I should be good. You just kind of continue this till you feel better, and you can do
10 times maybe.
So it's good for regulating
because this helps you breathe,
might
get
help
the oxygen back.
So you don't have to necessarily do the tracing. You can do that in your mind as well. So you just can visualize it.
Something about like an IV, you have one hand free. It might just give you something else to focus on other than, what's going on with your arm.
Right.
So it gives you another thing to focus on aside from the breathing part. So there's 2 different aspects that help take your mind away from what is going on.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it. You can just do the breathing part.
But it's a simple thing, and it does help. I have used it before. Mason has tried it, and it does help. So something that, you can do anywhere. You don't need anything. You can just do this. So something else that because we looked up different therapies, I can put links to where we found these, is it's like a five senses method. It's like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we may have heard that. What's pretty cool about this is it is a way to kind of distract your own mind. And so you'll hear this, see what you think. Basically, the five is going to be acknowledge five things you see around you. Could be a pen, they said. It could be a spot on the ceiling, anything.
Hair clip.
So, yeah, a hair clip. There you go. There that is. So you choose five things.
What do you see? Football.
And after you choose five things, you acknowledge four things you can touch around you. Could be your hair, could be a pillow, even the ground under your feet. So it's not just touch with your hands. It could be what your foot is touching, or if you're sitting in a chair, So these are things that you can feel like that,
or if you have a blanket on you, the blanket.
And that's something. And then three has to do with hearing. Acknowledge three things you can hear. It could be any sound around you. The example they provided, which I thought was kind of funny, was even if you hear your stomach rumbling, and just focus on things you can hear outside of your body. That kind of helps. The two, acknowledge two things you can smell. And so that's something that I think, like we have a candle going in here. You have your hair. You have...
Like how the example is pencil. You can smell a pencil.
Right.
Okay.
I know.
Let's go with that.
It kind of depends where you're at. But I think smell is something that really does take you out of and so maybe even bring something with you. I know.
Yeah, like a little candle or
I know there's like even I don't know, like aromatherapy things that you can that kind of
like
give off
lavender or something like that.
So something like that. Maybe bring something with you that when you get to that point you can focus on that, and that smell may take you out of that, because I picture a smell like when I'm at the doctors, it's very like antiseptics, it's like the alcohol wipes, like there's things like that, but I don't know if that makes you feel worse.
Do you like the smell of alcohol?
Right. I mean, it is a smell, but for some people that might be triggering. So maybe bring something with you that reminds you of home and kind of makes you feel like, okay, I'm in a different place, and kind of helps you separate with that. So just a thought that I would do. I'd bring one of our candles. You could bring pizza. I'll bring a candle.
What are you doing over there? I'm just smelling the pizza. Hang on.
And then acknowledge one thing you can taste. And so maybe have gum or something you can drink, even if it's water. Like, does the water have a taste? Your mind is no longer focused on your fear or on where you're at. It's going to be focused on thinking of these things and really getting in touch with that. So kind of cool.
All right. So I think of this, I'm gonna give my idea on it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I feel like with the box breathing, one thing that's so nice about it is the simplicity of it. This one seems a bit more complex. However,
you have to remember,
takes your mind off of what is going on.
Right.
Now, the only problem that I see with it is if you're getting an IV or something, and the what do you feel part might be like, oh, I can feel the needle. Or what can you smell? I smell
so like for you, that might not be best for an infusion, but it might be okay while you're in the waiting room.
Yeah, if you're in a waiting room. Yeah, see, these things will work well if you're in a waiting room. And if you don't mind the infusion, like the pain itself, maybe you're able to focus on other things. That's great. That's the only problem I see with it is just the feeling of a needle or something else going on.
So you'd want to use something different for that.
The smell of the alcohol hospital, because that is... it's not a trigger for me, but it's just something I don't like, because when I was in the hospital for 2 months, you smell the alcohol smell quite a bit, because they're all cleaning.
So you decide what's best. It could be on the car ride down there. It could be while you're in the waiting room, and maybe the box breathing works better when you're waiting to get the procedure or the, whatever it's called. Something, it doesn't have to be a procedure, but
I do really like the concept of it.
Yeah, because it distracts you. I need distractions. My brain, and I think you're a lot like this. It's always going. You're always thinking, and I think a lot of you are like this. Our minds are always going. So instead of letting our minds spiral about, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid. I know it's coming. I know it's like, let's let it spiral in a different direction.
I think that's actually a very good point.
And these are good for you in life with anything when you're having any struggles. Those have to be medical. So holding an object. And so this is something that could be interesting or helpful, I think. So they say experiencing and becoming immersed in an object can be a great way to ground yourself.
All right, I like that.
So it could be a smooth stone, a small paperweight, and I mean, I think of you with this because you're always
I'm always doing
he's
things.
always fiddling. I think a lot of people do this too. That's why there's such a great market for fidget cubes and for fidget toys, for all that
I like
because
fidget spinners actually.
it's
The
you
cubes
know
are not my thing, but
right.
for
That's
some
not
reason, I like the spinners. I don't.
having just a little object.
Yeah.
They said it could have a pleasant texture or nice appearance that could fit in the palm of your hand. They
Hmm.
say to focus on the object, hold it in your hand, bringing your full attention to how it looks, how it feels. Think about its colors. If
Jaws
it
are gonna bring a rock.
right, well, actually, that's not a
Yes,
bad
actually,
idea.
yeah.
Think about its colors, how it sparkles, reflects light, casts a shadow.
I meant.
Does it feel light, balanced, heavy, unevenly weighted?
All right.
You could think about all the aspects of it. And again, this is like another distraction technique because it keeps your mind occupied. I like that it's a small object. I was even thinking one of our Karma 2 clips,
Yeah, we could do
something,
maybe one of each of these, demonstrating all of them.
and
I
so it
like
could be
that idea
something
though.
like that.
I mean, even when I first started getting infusions, I don't do this anymore because I don't need it
Mhm.
because I'm more experienced. But when I was more afraid of the infusions, they'd give me like it was like a foam
Yes,
squishy thing.
yes.
And when you
We
squeeze
had a
it,
bunch of those.
yeah, when
Mhm.
you squeeze it, it squishes, and when you let go of it, it goes back to its normal shape. And
Right.
so it was a really fun
So
thing to
we used to make these
squish.
kits and we would give them to people whose kids were new to getting
Hmm.
infusions or different things like that. And those are one of the things we put in those little mini squishy things.
Hmm.
And those are great because they are colorful. They are
They're
light.
gonna
They
make
are,
your sometimes they're even scented too, you know. They
mhm,
have like a cotton
yeah,
candy scented one or a strawberry scented one. It goes back to the what do you feel, what do you see, what do you
right.
smell? Maybe the smell because you can sometimes taste with smell sometimes. Yeah,
So that
like
could be
that.
interesting. So that's another kind of cool one.
Also, the taste one might be interesting with the saline.
Right, right. The
Because
flesh,
I
you get the
actually am
flesh.
always excited to taste it because
Because
that's
you
how
know
I know
it
it's
works.
working.
Another one is this might be something to do while you're sitting in a waiting room. And because this is called a grounding chair. So they say that even the act of sitting can help regain a sense of feeling grounded. It says to become aware of the contact between you and your seat, your weight against the surface, the texture of the material on the chair. And then when you're ready, they say to apply pressure from your feet to the ground. Kind of imagine the weight draining from your mind and body, and you like let that all flow into the ground through your feet. And so then you're supposed to feel lighter. You can do this with, they say, take easy, slow breaths and then return to the awareness when you're ready.
That sounds very interesting.
So,
I'll have to try that because right now I'm on a rolling chair, which
yeah, and we're
oh
needing to like relax right now,
no,
but
that's
I
good.
thought that was neat. And so this is another one that you can ask yourself questions. These are the ones also it says you can have a dedicated journal. So maybe you have these questions written down so you don't have to think of them. You
And
could just
thinking of them might help you take your
mhm.
mind off of what's happening.
Right. And
I can
these
write
are,
them down.
well, the questions you ask yourself, questions like, where am I right now? What day and month is it? What season is it? How old am I? Where do I live and with whom? So these
And
seem like
hopefully you're able
silly,
to answer all those,
right? These
right?
seem like silly questions,
Mhm.
but these are all things to get your mind
To think,
different
right?
direction,
Different
right?
direction. Start a conversation with yourself. I think that would work well. You can write it down if you want.
Hmm.
I think I would just do it in my head because
Right.
sometimes infusion, the placement of it can make it hard to write if it's in my right hand, arm, or wrist.
Right. And you probably
Maybe it
wouldn't.
doesn't bother you. Some people it's actually nicer in the wrist and they don't notice it. For me, it's just a little bit weirder for me. But I would just be able to do it in my head. But
Mhm.
if you want to write it down, great. Buy a purple journal.
Yeah, get a journal.
Yes.
And these are just some suggestions. You can ask yourself any questions, even if you're like, I forget the questions. What, you know, ask yourself
Just any
anything.
question.
Right.
What is my favorite kind of bird?
It reminded me of another technique your therapist taught you in a way, like positive affirmations. And so he was also taught affirmations, but this is a positive coping statement. So you can prepare, it says, a coping statement for when you begin to feel the onset of anxiety or being overwhelmed. Their example is like, my name is X. Everything that is happening now will pass. There will come a time when I can look back on this time without fear or anxiety. So to remind yourself and repeat this to yourself, so you can repeat the above statement, something similar, just spend time on each word. And they said to recognize the temporary nature of pain. Just know it's temporary. You're getting through it. You will get through it. For some of you, you've gone through before. This is not the first time and you made it through, So just remember.
I think that's actually a very good one.
Hmm.
Because even when we're driving down to the hospital, I'll
Yeah.
think, Because sometimes after the hospital, at night we have my grandma and grandpa come over for
Yes.
dinner. So when we're in the car, obviously I'm not thinking about the infusion because who wants to do that? I'm
Right.
thinking in about 4 hours
Yes.
we're gonna be at home,
Yes.
and grandma and grandpa are gonna be there, and
Right.
I'll just be free the day, right?
Right.
In 4 hours this will be over. Just four
So that's
hours.
that's a lot like you're right. That's a lot like this.
And
You
I have to do
have
that almost every
right.
time,
Like this what I'm doing right now, didn't do this now,
It's
but in
just gonna
4 hours
pass.
I'll be somewhere else. I'm not going to be in this place. This is temporary. This will pass. I'm going
Mhm.
to get there.
So I can worry
So,
about it a little bit, or I
mhm,
could worry about it a lot, and it's going to be past in about 4 hours. And so worrying a lot was
mhm,
kind of a waste of energy. So when you think about it's going to be gone in this amount of time, just worry a little bit because it's okay to worry.
right.
Don't stress yourself overly. Just worry a little bit. That's okay.
Yeah.
Um, but just know that in however long, in blank amount of hours, minutes, or a day,
Right.
maybe if you're going somewhere,
Yeah.
this will be
It's
over by blah blah blah, and
mhm.
you'll be like, by then I'll be free, right?
Right. And maybe give yourself, like we've talked about, little rewards. So
Mhm.
something like,
When I get home,
when
I'm
I
going
get
to
home.
have a gummy bear.
Right, right. Whatever it is,
Going to read a chapter in Harry Potter. I don't know.
Right. Or watch a show
Yeah,
for some
or
people,
watch a
read a
movie.
book.
I'm gonna watch a
Um,
Christmas movie when I come
yeah,
home, right?
yeah. So I think those positive coping statements are a really good thing. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think, and that is something that you can be prepared with and have something ready. So you remind yourself of these things and you're not just like freaking out.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
something else that this is going to be the last one to talk about because we don't need this to go on too long. There's so many techniques out there. You guys can Google it, find your own if none of these work for you.
Mm-mm.
These are just some of the ones that really struck me as something that might be good.
Or you could create your own, right?
Ask
Just
your therapist.
yes, ask a therapist.
Ask your therapist. Your therapist will be a great resource for these because they're going to know better than us what your particular struggle might be and how to better help you. So, the last one we're talking about is called finger and shape breathing for children. This one said so if a child is using short and shallow breaths when anxious, it's important that they can control their breathing. Right.
Okay.
So you're not like starting to hyperventilate.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to restore that control, right? If so,
You need to be able
if
to.
they're starting to panic and they're breathing, it's like it's going to get worse. So you need to help them do that.
'Cause,
So
here was a good thing that actually helped me is when we're in the infusion center for the very first times, I would like start breathing very slowly, just holding my breath.
oh
Or
yeah,
I start
yeah, I'm like
breathing very
breathing
fast. No,
slowly,
I mean like
holding
holding
your
my
breath.
breath and they're like, you gotta
You got to
breathe,
breathe. They
you
always
know.
remind you breathe.
And so the thing is, if you start breathing too fast or you don't breathe at all, the veins in your arm actually constrict.
Constrict.
So
And
that
it
makes
makes
it
it
harder
harder to
for
get
them
better
to get
breathe.
to them. If you act more, not act, if you breathe more
If you physically calm
calmly and if you
yourself.
calm yourself and if you think more positively, it's going to hurt less and it's going to be
Right.
easier for the nurses,
Hmm.
right? It benefits both
And one of
people.
the ways we do that with Mason, we've said this before, I think in the podcast, but it's worth saying again. We would do counting, and
Yeah.
so it would just be like one,
One,
two,
two, three.
three, and we would make eye contact with him and keep him focused on
Because
us.
if the needle itself stresses you out, you probably don't want to be looking at it
Right.
as it goes in.
So we'd
It,
make sure
it,
like is he looking faint? Is he
yes,
looking strong? And by keeping him
the eye contact.
counting, he we knew he was breathing and
Mhm.
talking and we'd breathe make sure everything. So it worked really well for
Yes.
him.
For me personally, this is just me, and this is just proof everyone has their own different ways of doing it, right? When the nurse is about ready to do it, they say, "Okay, do you want to count or blah blah blah?" Okay, I look over, so
Yeah.
I'm not looking
Yeah.
at I'm not looking at the infusion needle anymore, and I'm expecting it, but I don't know exactly when. And if I know exactly when it's going to happen, I'm going to tense up at that moment,
Right. So this
and
way you don't
I'm going to have more
text, you just
anxiety for
relax.
myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so. Once the poke happens, I can kind of, all right, no, I let my eyes wander and I can look at it if I
Right.
want. But before it happens and while it's getting put in, while it's getting poked, I'm like, I don't want to look at it because that's going to make me expect it and anticipate more and
Mm-hmm.
be more stressed. So
Yeah.
I'd rather have it go in and then once they get it in, or even the second after, I'll look at it
Right.
just to see what's going on because I just don't want to see it going in. But other than that, all right.
We took a good detour though. It was
Yes,
a
I
good
took a good
detour.
detour.
Totally fine.
Probably the most I've touched on here.
Yeah, no, you do fine. It's good to share. It's good to be
Yeah.
open with everything because somebody listening, something may not resonate with them, but something else you say might be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and that's how I feel. So,
And even if you don't feel like me with that, or feel like her with that,
mhm.
now you know that everyone has their own different way.
Right.
You're not just weird. You're doing what suits
We're
you
all
best,
weird.
right? Technically,
Everybody.
everybody is weird. We all have
Right.
our
Because we all have
weird
our
things
own
that
things.
we like to do,
Yep.
we like to think. So just because you do something differently doesn't make you weird because everybody's weird, right? It's
Right.
normal. It's weird. It's normal to be weird, and it's weird to be normal,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So let's jump back in that. So this is a simple exercise. It's trying to get the child to track their movement and control their breathing, right? So one of the ways to do this is you ask the child to follow. This could be for adults too, but the example is given for a child. You follow the outline of their hand. So they can look at the outline, they follow it with their gaze, or they can even use a finger, and they can trace. It does say too, you can, if they prefer, you can close your eyes. And so some people might feel more comfortable visualizing this and tracing something else. So as their attention moves slowly and gently up each finger, they breathe in. So this is kind of like
The
the box
box breathing,
breathing,
but with
but a different. So you picture it and you breathe in, and then on the way back down the side, breathe out.
yeah.
And then you just kind of continue repeat for all 5 fingers
So
on a
basically,
hand.
this is mountain breathing
Right,
instead of
because
box breathing.
it doesn't take that hold, so it is important not to use too
Mhm.
quickly, so someone's not hyperventilating and just
We're
going
not
up,
going.
down, up,
We're not going.
but you're
We're
breathing.
going.
Right. So this is more of a method to get your breathing under control, right?
Yeah, we're going slowly.
Right. So you're trying to make sure you're breathing carefully as they're doing this, not holding your breath
No.
necessarily like the other one, but this is more just
So a
regulating.
different style. So
If they're starting to feel anxious, get them to do that. Make sure they're not starting to breathe more shallow, more quickly. This will help them go, oh, okay, well, I'm breathing too quick. Let's slow it
take
down.
nice deep breaths
Mhm.
and don't make them quick. Don't make them
And one
slow.
of the things I thought would be cool, like with this, would be for a Karma 2 clip, would
Mhm.
be like a starfish because
Ah, yes, because you
you
go
could,
around it infinitely.
right. And it's kind of like
Go
the
around the
five
points.
fingers, but
Mhm.
it's the 5 points. But you could have a starfish or something where they can trace. And so I want to try and incorporate some of these ideas into therapy. So
That'd be cool.
there are reminders, there's things you can have. And so hopefully we'll have some of those coming out to you guys. But for now, you have our podcast, which you can listen to anytime on any podcast
Mhm.
station like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple
And
Podcasts.
if you're already listening to this, we assume you already have a podcast. There's actually a lot more podcasts, though, a lot of different
Right. We
stations.
have it through Buzzsprout,
Thanks,
so you can
Bob.
find it.
Yeah. And if you want to watch us as well as listen to us, there's also YouTube, which now
Right.
has podcasts. They've had it for quite a while. I'm gonna stop
Right.
saying that they're new, but YouTube
Right.
has YouTube podcasts and videos. So if you want to watch us, make sure to be on here, or if you just want to
Mhm.
listen, you can also be here. If you are on YouTube, make sure to give us a like and subscribe. And if you want to be notified every time we post a new video, make sure to hit that bell icon. And also, please comment.
Yep.
Maybe comment about what you found was helpful.
Right. If there's a technique you're using
Yeah.
that's helpful, if any of these were new to you and you're like, hey, I'm going to
Yeah.
try this,
If you want to try all these,
and
tell
let us know which one worked best for
Yeah,
you.
which one worked best for you? Just tell us.
Yeah, but there's so many options out there, and
Create
we
your
just,
own? Tell us.
yeah, and we just basically wanted to kind of share some ideas for some of you and just kind of remind you to take care of yourself and the importance of these things because it's healthier if we can not always be anxious or live in fear or have these days where like Mason said, something's coming, so you worry for days. And
Mhm.
so these are some techniques to just and remind you all we're all going through something and you're not alone. If you feel like I'm the only one who feels like this, you're really not. You're not. And so it's just a matter of helping
It's
and
okay to worry.
right. And also and speaking of this, right before we end, we had an incident with our computer this week that we record our
Yes.
another stressful incident.
Right.
This was I did step away because I worked for a couple hours, could not fix it.
Stressful.
We lost an external hard drive, our building blocks basically for a show on it. Because we have a ton of equipment. You can't see it, but we have a lot of
There's a light,
equipment.
There's a light. There's a light.
Yeah, we have like for sound, we have the camera, we have,
Microphone.
we have external hard drives plugged in. And so this, because we also use this as our editing, this is our like powerhouse computer for, I use it for, Adobe InDesign for
It's strong.
Photoshop, Final Cut Pro. So this is our everything. And so then when I was trying to fix the external hard drive, maybe the computer needs an update. So I updated it And I
Everything
didn't
else.
realize that with the new Tahoe update through Apple that I only figured this out after it happened, that it can mess up your keyboard and your mouse. So when the computer restarted, I couldn't log back in. It would not acknowledge, I tried everything. So I thank you, Amazon, ordered a new keyboard and mouse, had it delivered within 4 hours, and I was able to log back in. The new one worked. So it messed up something in my old keyboard and mouse, unfortunately.
So that's
And
shame.
yeah, and it was an expensive one. This wasn't,
Mm.
and so the new one was actually far cheaper because I'm like, I'm just buying one to test this out to see if this is the issue. And turns out,
It
guess it
was.
was. So everything, we didn't get the external hard drive back. So we had new music loaded. You may have noticed some new music in the
Mhm.
beginning.
Do you like it better, or
Yeah.
let us know?
And if not,
Try to be
hopefully
positive.
you do like it because Mason listened to a few. That's what he liked. And so, so we had to do it. It's a little different. You may not notice it, but there's a few things we had to do because we don't have any of the old.
Any
We
old
have
footage.
two external hard drives. We have where we save the final product and we save like the before. And we had the final product. That one is all saved, so we're able to use. We have all of our podcasts in their
The
final
episodes,
form,
yeah.
but not in their
The
raw,
physical form.
unedited
Mhm.
state, which is very unfortunate. So we're going to work on getting that back, but we didn't have time. We had to still film the podcast, go forward. So life does stuff like that. That night that this all happened, we ended up going out to dinner. We drove like an hour away to go have a dinner with a family friend.
So it helped kind of
And so it was
step away
like, at
from it,
first, yeah, I was like, I don't know if
de-stress.
my husband's like, should we not go? And because I was like, but then it actually helped because you step away,
Mm-hmm.
you get into a different mental headspace. And then when I came home, I felt better.
Better.
Like I can
Hmm.
work on
Take a
this
break
again.
from it.
So, that's an important lesson. And I think I'm the kind of person when something goes wrong, I want to fix it and I'm going to keep working and keep working. So this forced me to do something I would not normally do, which is
Hmm.
step away. So it actually worked.
Yes.
So getting your mind sends into a different place is so
It can
important.
definitely help.
It's so important for your mental health. So I hope that if, any of you are struggling with something, I hope today something here helped. I hope you've learned some tools
Yes.
to help you guys.
De-stress.
And yeah, and thank you. Yeah, thanks to Mason for sharing some of your insight on it because it's very important for a patient to find ways to make it through all these appointments and because
It's not just about the patient. It's about the caregiver, the
yeah,
patient, and
it's a
everybody
full
else, right?
picture. It's a full picture and
Yeah.
everybody's important in it.
Everybody's
And
important.
so, and as caregivers, you guys are important too, so take care of your mental health. And it's okay to admit sometimes, like, you're tired. It's okay. Like, just figure out a way. It can be 5 minutes to yourself, just to give yourself a moment to just have
To
that break.
relax and
And
de-stress and
right.
rethink and
Yeah.
put everything back where it's supposed to
I
be.
understand not everyone has time for a spa day. That's the
Mhm.
most annoying thing is when
You
people
should
like,
go get a
"Oh,
spa
you
day.
need a day. And it's like, that stresses me out
Mhm.
because then how am I going to get all this other stuff
First
done?
of all, time. Second of all, money.
Right? It's like, and I have to spend the money on it. So it's great that, some people that's fantastic. They can do that. And it doesn't annoy me that other people do that. Let me make sure. I think that's fantastic. And I think it's important. I'm always happy when I see other people find a way to cope and do things. That's important. It's just hard sometimes for people to hear it who don't have that same opportunity or means. And so you kind of feel like, well, so it's okay. Whatever you can do to give yourself that time, just it's a decompress really to separate and come
De-stress.
back
Yeah.
and feel better. So therapy is excellent. Get a therapist perhaps because we're not therapists.
No, we're
It's
not
not our job.
therapists. No,
We're
we're
just
just giving you ideas.
right because I know how it helped Mason when his therapist did these things and
Hmm.
it was like, oh cool, there's tools for this. And so hopefully some of you out there it'll help you too.
Yes.
So thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you. And we hope you have a great rest of your week. It's definitely not going to be by the time you release this, but we hope you have a good Halloween if you watch this at
I know
that
Halloween
time.
is still going to be weeks away, but
Yes.
we've been celebrating for
Candy.
weeks. Yeah,
Yeah.
both. It was a
Very
big,
nice people.
big past couple
It
weeks.
was. It was.
Everything thrown in there.
Now we're here,
So,
right?
yep.
Yeah.
So, guys, like Mason said, comment. Let us know if any of these work for you. If something else works for
If
you,
you like a blood type, try to be positive.
be positive. Yes, it's a
Uh,
good blood bank joke.
be positive. Better than to be negative. I
Right.
don't know.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks on the next
Episode.
episode.
Have a great rest of your week or 2 weeks. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We hope you will stick around, tune in, and reach out to us with your own journeys.
We are excited to give you an inside view of what it takes to be a caregiver and what it's like to be a patient.
And most of all, we hope you'll maybe be able to apply something you hear on here that might help you in your own life. Sometimes life changes, and it's all about how you handle the journey.